Hey, how's it going, ReefDudes? What's happening?
What's going on, Lou? So we,
Oh, doing good, man. Just
yeah,
down here melting right now in Orlando.
it's definitely pretty toasty out there. Um,
Yeah,
so
it is.
so for everyone in the chat that's just joining in, I'm on with Lou from Worldwide Corals, and he's kind of like the man, the legend himself, one of the founders of this amazing coral farm and facility that you guys have down in Orlando.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Yeah, one of the founders. There's three of us.
Hmm.
We founded it in 2006. We actually incorporated in the state of Florida, but we didn't open our retail store until like July of 2007. So it took us some time, but
Hey,
we originally set up. Yeah, we originally set up to be an online store like back in 2006, but being in the garage back then, we never really got it off the ground. So
mhm.
thank God we found the retail location because it kind of was like a prerequisite for us to build our online store.
Yep.
Mhm.
No, definitely. So what actually got you guys to start? Like, what made you want to start a store in the first place? Like, what brought this whole idea to life?
Okay. Well, one of my partners, Victor Fenari, he was the original hobbyist out of the bunch of
Hmm.
us. We were three of our friends. And, being in our mid 20s, we used to use his apartment to like a place to kind of hang out after we went out, to the clubs or the bars, we'd hang out at his place
Yep.
and he had a bunch of fish tanks. So it was always the place to be, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, yeah, I always got to I started getting into it by kind of seeing what he was doing. And, he started like in 2000, but like 2006 he was already starting to kind of like grow frags and stuff like that, which was kind of ahead of his time. So
Yep.
I quickly became kind of like fascinated by these animals that you can actually propagate inside of a saltwater tank. I never thought that was possible at the time. I only knew about like freshwater fish and bubblers and stuff like that, so it was way out of my league, but I mean I quickly caught on.
Hmm. No, it definitely sucked you in pretty good.
Yeah, it did.
So, okay, random question. So, you guys have like
Yeah,
some gorgeous display tanks in your office, in the farm, and everywhere. Do
yeah,
you have tanks at home as
thank you.
well, or do you get your fix from work?
Well, I get my fix from work. Right now, I'm in a transition. I'm kind of renting a place, but
Hmm.
I tried to set the tanks up in like a 1 or 2 year lease. But the
Yeah.
truth is, after you need about a good year for it to really establish and take hold. So after about a year, I'd take it down, and I was like, man, until I buy my house,
Hmm.
I'm kind of trying to hold off. Even though I
Yep.
was getting ready to put a 20 gallon recently in the condo,
Hmm.
but I've been resisting, because it is a lot of extra work, even though I do love it. So the
Yep.
plan is to do something really big. The ultimate plan in the house once I get the house.
Nice. That's awesome. I mean, once you
Yeah,
actually own a place, then that's where there's like no holds. You can go crazy, do whatever you want in there.
I'm telling you. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna go big. That's for sure.
Yep. On a random side note, because I see you got some awesome tanks in the background. I love that one with
No,
the
thank you.
little mangrove, and it's a cool one. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We had that mangrove from Julian Sprung back
yep.
in March over here at the Global Pet Show. He brought it up for us. We put it in there, and it's been doing fantastic. It's really grown and took hold in there. We call it the lagoon tank.
Nice. No, they're beautiful. Love
Yeah,
it. So
thank you.
in your display store too, I mean, if no one's been in there, I know most people know you guys from online because not
Yeah,
everyone's down in Florida and Orlando. But your
yeah, right.
store, like when I was down at ReefAPooloza in Orlando, I got to
Uh,
go check it out for the first time. It's absolutely amazing. Your display tanks alone are huge and gorgeous. So if no one's ever been there, like definitely check them out in person. It's a treat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Our display tanks are a big part of what we do because that shows our passion. That kind of shows what we do and what's achievable. Once you put your heart and soul into something.
Hmm. Yeah. So in the past, actually, you were saying you actually mix up your display tanks once in a while too, in your store.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We do it once in a while because
Hmm.
we have a lot of people that come in regulars, and we like to kind of like change it up. Switch out some pieces. We get something hot, we like to put it in one of the displays and kind of start propagating it from there and have a place for the actual broodstock piece. We do that with that's the main one of the main purposes of our display tanks.
Yep.
Besides showing what's achievable is having places to grow like mainly acros and montes and stuff like that in there.
Nice. No, that's awesome.
Mm, yeah.
So I also got to check
Yeah.
out the one you had kind of around the corner that is 500, 800, whatever that one is. It's massive.
The 900, the one,
900. There we
yeah,
go.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That one's kind of stashed away. We actually that back room was actually our original farm.
Mm-hmm.
We actually outgrew it. Then we ended up, starting another farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, good problem to have. We started another farm about 2 miles away. We weren't able to do it on property, but
Mm-hmm.
we took that our farm facility where we have our 900-gallon tank back there, and we
Yep.
actually ship out of there, mainly shipping and holding corals for online and stuff that's sold already for online sales. So it serves a purpose now.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to be opening that up in later this month. We have our anniversary sale.
Yep.
and we always open it up during the sale. So we'll open it up. That's Saturday and Sunday, July 28th and 29th. So we'll open that
Nice.
room up back there so people come check out the 900-gallon home
Sweet.
of white chocolate.
Your white
Crazy looking
chocolate?
Tang. Yeah, white chocolate. Well, it's Tang in there. He's a Tang. He's black, white, and yellow. He's
Oh,
phenomenal.
that
The
guy. Yeah,
coloration
he's
on him.
really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, 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 yeah. You seen him? Yeah, we
Yep.
call him white chocolate.
That's awesome. So you got him,
Yeah,
and then your other special
yeah.
Tang, Casper, he's all white.
Mm.
So you got two
Mm-hmm.
really different ones that I've never seen until I actually was there before. So that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Casper's pretty famous. We had him since
Hmm.
2010. He does really well for us. He's the king of our 293-gallon display tank at the shop. So everyone's come in. We're open 7 days a week. Come check them out.
No, awesome. Yeah, definitely do, guys, if you've never been there.
Yeah,
Okay, so your original coral farm was in the back room there, which is still a
yeah.
pretty decent size. Like, that's bigger than most
Yes.
stores. And now, when you see
True.
the actual farm, like, honestly, that blew my
Okay.
mind. Like, I've never
Yeah.
seen so many corals under one roof in my life. It is
I,
amazing how much you guys actually do in there. Absolutely
Yeah, it
amazing.
keeps us busy. I mean, I think we're up to, yeah, thank you. We're up to like 6 full-timers in there right now. They don't even actually work at our store. They report, yeah, they
Yeah.
report to the farm every day. So
Mhm.
we're big into like pest control and stuff like that. So when we get stuff in, we really want to monitor it, dip it, make sure they do well before we start fragging it and, bring it to the public.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of man hours, just kind of keeping the corals clean and pest free.
Yep.
Then cutting them up and propagating, remounting them, and getting them ready to go into the tanks to
Mhm.
heal up. That takes hours and hours and hours, for sure.
No, it definitely does. So, on that note, like, what's kind of like the biggest challenges of running a big coral facility like that?
To tell you the truth, running out of space. I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes, yeah, our guys actually sometimes have, especially with new orders and stuff, we actually have to spend time moving racks around or corals around into other tanks, because we have 4 main systems back there.
Mhm.
They're all four tanks, so we can kind of move things around inside each system. And that's probably one of the biggest challenges is the space, and
Mhm.
hopefully one day, our goal is to have probably a bigger facility where we can actually have everything under one roof. That would be nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so the big coral farm, which already blew my mind. You're already growing
Uh-huh.
that, already thinking going bigger. That's awesome.
Yes.
Now,
Sorry, man.
that is I'm super happy for you guys. That is absolutely amazing. Now,
Thank you. I appreciate
yeah.
that. Yeah, for
So,
sure.
out of curiosity, so going bigger, would you go
Uh,
to a bit bigger physical facility, or would you ever look at mariculture or potentially growing stuff out in the ocean, or
being in Central Florida, I think we'd stick to an indoor
yeah?
facility. Real estate has really gone up here the last few years, and
Hmm.
hopefully we can find something that fits our need within the next couple of years. And it's a challenge because even though it sounds like not far, we're 2 miles apart from the retail store. It's
Yep.
challenging, especially when we got to go back and forth for meetings and stuff like that, and it's time consuming. So
Hmm.
everything under one roof would be the ultimate goal:
Yep.
retail and the farm and offices, stuff like that, shipping facilities.
Well, that'll be pretty awesome when it happens one day. I know it's coming. You guys are growing fast.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I think
Hmm.
so. We're
Um,
working on it.
no, that's wicked. Now, one of the when someone's asking in the comments, is there any chance of opening a shop in Canada?
Oh man, I don't know what the future holds for us. I mean, right now, we're only able to sell inside the states. We
Hmm.
haven't been able to take our corals outside the country. So we haven't discussed it, but hey, you never know.
Yep, that could be good.
Yeah,
Never know.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So one of the ones that I get asked a lot about is sometimes for people kind of caution stuff for like getting ripped off or buying corals online.
yeah,
I've heard lots of people buy something and it shows up and it looks nothing like the photos do.
yeah.
Any tips for people on that to not get screwed over or to actually get good deals when they're buying stuff when they don't actually get to see it in person? Because I know you guys do a ton of online sales and your stuff is
Yeah.
always beautiful. I mean, you're pretty safe there, but
Yeah. Well, it all starts with reputation. Savvy online shoppers, they should do their research no matter what you're buying, whether you're buying a car, a appliance, clothing, or coral. Because there's a lot of information available and people share their experiences. So I
mm-hmm.
would start out by kind of going and searching their Google feedbacks, Facebook feedback, stuff like that, and see where they're at and what the other people that have purchased from them have said.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of, you want to find a vendor that's, telling what you see is what you get for sure. Because,
Yep.
most likely if they're able to take that photo and you can tell sometimes if it's oversaturated or not.
Mm-hmm.
And based off the reputation, you take those kind of components together and make a decision whether, hey, this vendor's legit or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely my tip is to do your homework on the vendor. If they're a
Mm-hmm.
new vendor and they're throwing good deals, it's probably for a reason. I'm not saying don't support them, but just be cautious, and make sure it's always good to have a phone number you can call, when you're dealing with a website,
Mm-hmm.
online sales. I've seen sites that sell corals that there's no, the customer service is always through email.
Yep.
When I was buying corals, way back when online, I would be, if I didn't see a phone number, I could actually talk to somebody. I would
Mm-hmm.
try, I'd probably second guess doing business with that company because that could, if you have an issue, how do you really get through or get it resolved?
Yeah. No,
And
exactly.
also their guarantee too. A lot of major vendors now have
Mm-hmm.
guarantees. Like we do a 10-day guarantee
Nice.
on our coral ship. So, we stand behind our product. And I think that's what, society wants now. If you're buying online more than ever, you got to stand behind your product because, folks are trusting you kind of like, without seeing the product, they are seeing the picture. So picture and reputation and what they see
Mm-hmm.
on the feedbacks is what they're going off of. So gaining that trust and, delivering on what you say is huge for any online vendor for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's a great point. I mean, reviews really are
Yeah.
driving the economy these days.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yep. So now another interesting one. I know. What do you see like the future of a lot of the local fish stores? Because a lot of stuff is going more online, and it kind of seems like
Yeah,
the ones that are surviving are more adapting more to the online world as well. And it's kind of
yeah,
sad, but you see some that do kind of fade off is because they're resisting it to an extent.
yeah, yeah. That's another great point you brought up because, like, Worldwide Corals, we're open 7 days a week on a retail store, so
Mm-hmm.
anybody can actually walk in there, and you can touch and feel and see. Well, maybe not feel, but you can see
The corals.
and see what we're doing. Yeah, yeah, and you can see what we're doing every day. I mean, we're open book as far as that
Mm-hmm.
goes. So what you said, if like online vendors or retailers that are actually opening websites, that definitely helps out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's tough. I mean, especially going through like the summer months for vendors or retail stores. I mean, a lot of people don't want to deal with their tanks. They want to be at the beach. The weather's beautiful. They're on family vacation. The kids are out of school. So the summertime slowdown could be detrimental, especially what's going on now with the corals getting stopped from Indo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of retailers are really feeling it. So, it's the time, retailers, you have to adapt and do it soon. I mean, if you don't, the environment's changing, and coral propagation is actually where the future is.
Yeah.
In our hobby.
Have you guys had much of an impact from the Indo stuff?
Not a huge impact. We've
Mm-hmm.
been lucky because we've been collecting for so long, and
Mm-hmm.
we have so many tanks back here where we kind of propagated, and a lot of our stuff we were propagating was Indo stuff.
Yep.
I'm not sure what the future's going to hold, but
Mm-hmm.
we feel like we have a ample supply, and based off what we've had over the years,
Just
we
don't.
shouldn't. I mean, I don't see us slowing down anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just don't sell 100% of it, and you'll be good to grow some more.
No, we will. I promise.
Yeah, coral propagation. I mean, that is a huge one, right? Like,
Yeah,
especially if there is more and more restrictions. I mean, all the hobby is going to basically be what everyone grows on their own, and at the bigger
yeah,
facilities. So that may be where the industry ends up in 10 years from now. So.
yeah, and it's not totally a bad thing. I mean, we will miss. The big LPS corals and stuff like that. If it does ever get shut down, we'll miss those. But I mean, definitely, if you're propagating corals, or if you're not propagating corals, you need to start thinking about that soon because I mean, no matter what, sustainability is a huge part of our hobby, and moving
Mm-hmm.
forward, I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Yep. No, very true, and it gets more and more important
Yeah,
over time.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing it. Just coming back from ReefAPooloza in New York. I mean, a lot of people are starting to breed different fish now too.
Mm-hmm.
In tanks. Tank raised fish, and that's great to see. That's more of a more scientific than the coral propagation. But I mean, nevertheless, they're getting it done. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Nice. So on that note, you guys used to only sell corals. I'm seeing more and more fish starting to show up in your guys' shop as well. So you guys do
Yes.
sell, fish and inverts, all that stuff now as well.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually going to start selling inverts online. Being in Florida, we have access to a lot of great invertebrates,
Mm-hmm.
and we've had a lot of people request to sell inverts online. So we're actually going to venture into that. They are available right now on our site, but we kind of did like a soft launch. But we're going to
Yep.
start marketing it really soon.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. Thanks.
right. Okay. So question in the chat. Right now, do you sell more propagated or imported?
Propagated way
Propagated.
more.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's awesome. So
Yes.
in the coral, your guys' farm. So there are four
Hmm.
different systems, right? Because you have like 16-ish tanks.
$16.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot.
Yep. You got it. You remembered. Nice.
Mm-hmm. No, that's awesome. Okay, I know I kind of asked you this one before, but just for my own curiosity again. So you
Yeah.
guys run calcium reactors on all your tanks, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I've been debating going back to one because I'm upgrading again soon. So
Uh,
I
yeah.
already
Yeah.
see. Mm-hmm.
your plans look really cool. The stuff you share with me. So I mean, he's definitely got something in the works.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's awesome. So Lisa's asking, with the Indonesia ban, are the prices going to be impacted?
Um, I mean, I could imagine as the demand changes, they
Mm-hmm.
may go up. I don't see them coming down.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have anything like preset price increase. We're just rolling with it.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I mean, all systems to go. But the future, whatever the future dictates, is going to dictate the pricing and the changes.
Yeah. No, very good. It's a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, aside from worldwide corals, like what other kind of fun stuff do you do? Like what else you got for hobbies aside from staring at coral all day?
Hobbies. I like the mountain bike. I mean, not there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of mountain bikes in Florida, but mountains, but there's a lot of trails in Florida. That's really neat.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of scuba diving.
Nice.
I mean, working a lot. I should take more time off and enjoy my hobbies more. A little bit of playing cards.
Yep.
Yep, I like that.
Nice.
Looking forward to Vegas here in a couple months, Macna.
Nice. Perfect. Got your
Going to
tickets already?
Vegas. Yeah, that should be good.
Perfect. I'll see you at that one.
Yeah, for sure.
So you guys, so you're almost at 11 years you guys been running now, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yep,
awesome.
11 years. Yeah, we're gonna have our 11-year anniversary in-house sale. I wanted to just talk about that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, July 21st, so it's about a week and a half away. It's gonna be start off at the actual store in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the evening, we're gonna come over to the farm and open the farm up and kind of hang out over here. So it should be a
Nice.
really great afternoon. Get to hang out and fun, food, and excitement, sales. If you want to buy corals and good time overall.
That's awesome. Yeah, if any of you guys are in the area, definitely check that out. Just if you have never been there, just go check
Yeah.
out the store and stuff. It's awesome. Awesome,
Thank
awesome.
you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, we'd love to show you guys
Mm-hmm.
around. We are
Mm-hmm.
open every day, 11 to 7, our retail store. Weekends we're open, so come on in. Most holidays, closed Christmas, New Year's, and Thanksgiving. Besides that, we're open.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah,
Couple quick questions from the chat. How long does it
yeah.
take for one of your new frags to go from coral ready, or sorry, your new frags to go from a frag to a coral ready for sale on the website?
It all depends on the species of coral. I mean, I'd probably say about maybe 4 to 6 weeks until he
Mm-hmm.
really has a really good, takes to the plug and, covers the glue and stuff like that.
Yep.
Depending on the coral, about 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Another one in there. How do you feel about little or no water change methods?
Little or no water change methods. I mean, people are having success with it.
Mm-hmm.
Not what we would do. We believe in kind of the water changes. We run a lot of bare bottom tanks,
Mm-hmm.
so it's low nutrient system. So not only does the water change kind of take down nitrates and phosphates, kind of replenishes the trace elements in the water column as well. So for us, it serves a two-tier purpose. So
Mm-hmm.
water changes are important to us, but however, I do see people having success
Yep.
without the water change methods. Mm-hmm.
It seems to be kind of the new trend lately.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
We're sticking to our guns at work, so
Hey,
we're not
if
changing it.
it's working, don't change it.
Yeah, exactly.
So G Carol is asking, can you talk about the key? What makes your coral coloration so good?
Okay, what's up, Greg? How you doing? Mainly just kind of keeping up, with the parameters.
Mm-hmm.
Water flow. To us, water flow is the most important thing. Second is going to be your lighting, and then third is going to be kind of like your water chemistry and your parameters, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. So,
But we actually in the store we use Brightwell products.
mm-hmm.
So we use their salt, we use their coral aminos, like as a pre-feed before we feed our tanks. Then you get the pop extension from the coral aminos. That's really good.
Nice.
Lugos, we drop that in the tank, once or twice a week. A couple of drops of Lugo solution, iodine, concentrated iodine. We run carbon. They have a really great, carbonate P that we run, in our reactor. So we run a pretty simple system. We don't do a whole lot of supplementation.
Mm-hmm.
Like on our nanos, we don't have reactors. We do the Brightwell code A, code B on the nanos. Hand dose those. So we have in the store. It's really neat that we do have a couple of sand bed tanks. We have a couple of nano tanks. We have a couple of large tanks. A bunch of 180s.
Yep.
So what's cool is that we can show how you can do it almost on any size tank. Succeed.
And that's awesome, especially for someone new coming in too, right? So here's your massive scale,
sure.
here's your little nano tank, both gorgeous, both simple enough that anyone could do it.
Yeah, exactly. And even like on our smaller tanks, we have a 33-gallon JBJ and we have a 24 Fluval nanos. We change about 3 to 5 gallons a week on those, and that pretty much keeps them at bay. So anybody running a small system, it could be kind of even though you got to kind of be careful for stability. I
Yep.
mean, just a little word change a week will definitely keep you on track.
Hmm. On that one, I only ever do a 5 gallon water change. It doesn't matter if it's my like 100 something gallon or my 20 gallon.
Yeah,
They usually get one bucket. That's it.
weekly
It works.
or
One ish, every week or two.
there you go.
Yep.
Hey, it's all different ways of doing it, man. I'll tell you
Hmm.
that.
Hey, as long as the tank's happy.
Yeah, that's absolutely you're right there, right
Yep.
on.
Okay, another question from the chat. What does your quarantine process look like when you bring in new coral?
Okay, well, we have like a receiving system,
Hmm.
because sometimes we have multiple orders that come in over the weekend or whatever the case may be. So we receive them in there.
Hmm.
Those are kept separate from everything else. Depending on what it is, we our guys start inspecting them. LPS corals that don't carry a lot of parasites, we'll take a look at them. If they don't need to be dipped, we don't
Hmm.
dip them. A lot of the LPS bigger corals, we send them right over to the store for resale once we kind of monitor them for about a week, making sure they're good to go, tissue's not damaged or anything like that.
Hmm.
The hard corals, I mean, sometimes it takes months for it to reach our floor, because we like to really monitor things when they come from the wild.
Hmm.
SPS corals especially because they could kind of like take a turn for the worse out of the blue. So we make sure that they get apt to aquarium conditions here on our farm. And once we realize the coral, the species is doing well and coloring up for us, we'll decide to start fragging it from there and
Nice.
propagating it as needed.
Awesome. So pretty rigorous quarantine procedure. It has different stages
Yeah,
of
yeah.
tanks before it actually gets to the main system. So.
Yeah, yeah. We have. I mean, throughout the time it's here, we dip it multiple times. We
Hmm.
have the guys that come in. We fill up. We actually have these tanks that we keep empty,
Hmm.
and we refill them every time we go through the dip process. We'll dip racks of corals at a time. I mean, it takes time, it's time consuming, but it's like we want to deliver a pest free product at the end of the day. That's one of our ultimate goals for
Yep.
sure.
Exactly. I mean, it's nice
Mm,
buying too to have that confidence that you don't really have to worry about it.
yeah, exactly right.
Yep.
We're hobbyists too, so we want to try to deliver it like we'd want
Hmm.
it. If we were on the other side of the delivery for
Yep.
sure.
No, that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Um, Question in the comments: what are the dimensions of Casper's tank?
Casper. Okay, tank is 293 gallons. It's 60 inches long.
Hmm.
It's 40 inches from the front to the back and 27 inches tall.
Nice.
Euro braced.
Euro based. That's
Yeah,
290 ish. That one is, I think.
293. That's what we
293. Okay.
estimated that.
All right.
Yeah,
Very precise.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the name of it. Whenever you say, "Hey, take this order to 293," or "Go clean
Hmm.
at 293," so we
Yep.
have them all named.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
DJ's reefing. Do you ever have any coral losses?
Yeah, we do. I
Yep.
mean, we don't have a ton of it, but even sometimes in display, a coral will take a turn for its worse. And usually, if it does, doesn't make it, we
Mhm.
take it out of the tank as soon as we can. So when the public comes in, they actually don't get to see
Yeah.
it.
That's fair.
So we try to stay up on, dead fish. I mean, our fish are fantastic. Once in a while, fish, if he does die, I've been at fish stores where you see dead fish and stuff like that. We make it
Hmm.
a point to make sure you remove it. No one wants to see that. It does happen, but I mean, we try to keep things, show ready every day at the retail shop for sure.
Yep. No, and that's good though. I mean, same thing. If I'm in a store and I see a dead fish floating around, that's really going to discourage me about trying to buy anything from there. So it's
Yeah,
very good.
yeah, yeah. But I'll tell you, our fish systems has been phenomenal. I mean, really perfected keeping fish. We sell a lot of fish to the locals.
Hmm.
We're getting even in the summertime, we're getting 2 shipments in a week. And if you guys are looking for fish, come on down and check us out for sure.
Hmm. No, definitely. So
Mm.
so you're saying so 11 years. So you guys are going to have a live sale in a week and a half, or at your shop, you're going to have a sale, right?
Yeah, that'll be the 21st. So that's just be on a Saturday.
Hmm.
Then the following weekend's going to be our live sale. We're getting ready to launch all the marketing this weekend. So,
Yep.
if you guys subscribe to any of our social medias,
Hmm.
our YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, you'll be up on the current events for sure.
Yep. Oh, I just want to. Speaking of, I want to give you guys an
Uh,
Instagram a quick plug. You guys post gorgeous pictures like every single day. If you guys
Thanks.
want your coral eye candy fixed, like make sure you guys sub them on
Yeah,
Instagram. The
yeah.
awesome
We make it a
photos.
point to try to put. Thanks, man. We try to make it a point to put something up every day on Instagram because people want to see what's going on, and we actually our internet team's phenomenal. I got like 5 guys that take fantastic pictures, and I mean I can't take credit for that. It's the guys on Chris, Frank, and Jacob and Dylan, the guys down there on the farm and on the retail facility internet
Hmm.
division. They're doing fantastic for us.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So another
Thanks.
one from the chat. Do
Yeah.
you work? How do you work out the flow within your systems? I think they're
The flow
guessing
within
like.
our systems. Well, we try to, besides our 900 gallons is pretty much SPS corals.
Hmm.
So they're bare bottom. So we always have to have something. We usually have a power head kind of sweeping the floor, keeping all the detritus off the floor and suspended, so it can fall into the water, down in the water column to the sump and get filtered out. Mainly we try to position the corals where they would occur in a reef. Hard
Hmm.
corals up top. Medium corals like montipores and stuff like that, middle to lower. Zoas pretty much can go just about anywhere depending on what kind of zoa it is.
Hmm.
And towards the bottom, we put our softies, any mushrooms, big LPS corals, gonoporas, trachy, stuff like that. So
Yep.
we kind of try to mimic a natural reef where they would occur in a natural reef. And then based off that is kind of where we position our power heads. So usually our power heads, especially in the bare bottom, you'll see a lot of them raised up, 'cause
Hmm.
that's where most of the hard corals are at.
Yeah.
So we use a lot of ecotech equipment,
Hmm.
MP40s, MP60s, MP10s on the smaller tanks, as well as our lighting. I mean, we're strictly Radion lights in our
Hmm.
farm and in our retail facility.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Ecotech, man, for great products.
Yeah. No, I rock the same ones. They're awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Someone was asking how many times turnover. I don't know if you guys actually calculate that. I know it's just tons of flow and tons of different random.
Yeah. Our
Yep.
turnovers actually we try to shoot to achieve slower turnover,
Okay.
so we let everything else do its job. This protein skimmer and the power head stuff like that. So
Hmm.
we probably turn it over a little bit slower than most people,
Yep. Okay.
most hobbyists. Yeah.
So one other one around that. What parameters do
Yeah.
you maintain for alk, calcium, mag, and salinity?
Salinity, we try to keep it at about a 1.025. Alk, about an 8. Calcium, about 460 to 480.
Hmm.
Nitrates, like a trace of nitrates. We usually use Salifert test kits, so like 25 or less on the Salifert test kit. What was the other one they asked?
Magnesium.
Mag, about 1300 to 1350.
Okay. About standard ones.
Yeah, pretty
Hmm.
much standard. I mean, just really, I think, we try to keep everything in check. A little
Hmm.
bit of nitrates doesn't hurt. It's just that stability is the key. You just want things fluctuating up and down and going one week or one day to day changing. So even if
Yeah.
your tank's a little dirtier, I mean, I've seen crazy tanks that are, over 100, mainly like mushroom tanks and stuff like that
Hmm.
and softies, but they do phenomenal. Some people just don't touch it. I've been in all, I mean, in 11 and 12 years, I've seen it all, believe me.
Oh, I believe it. But yeah, I
Yeah,
at the end of the day, stability is like the secret to any of these corals being happy, right?
absolutely.
They can adapt to.
Yeah.
I always say this, but they can adapt to super low, super high, whatever, as long as it's stable. It's not swinging around. They'll be happy eventually
Yeah,
once they get used to it.
yeah, for sure.
No, that's awesome.
Nice.
If there's any more questions in the chat, let me know. What
Okay.
else on my list? So there's that. The other thing you mentioned earlier is you have a live sale with Reef to Reef coming up too. So you got two
Yep.
sales coming up. You got one on the 21st and the other one's on the 28th,
Yes.
29th.
28th and 29th. I think it goes until like 1 in the morning on the 29th. So it's like a long, I think it's 14 hours or so.
Yep.
So it'll go from start Saturday morning and then Sunday, early morning, the
Mm-hmm.
wee hours of the morning.
Be a late night for you.
Yeah. Drink your coffee and Red Bulls, man.
Yeah, no kidding, eh?
Get them ready.
Yeah.
It's always a blast. We love Reef to Reef and we love the live sales. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we've been doing them. I want to say we've been doing them for like 6 or 7 years, and we were definitely one of the innovators of it, if not the innovator of the Coral Live Sale on Reef to Reef. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
big shout out to David Hammondtree over at Reef to Reef for being a progressive thinker and letting
Mm-hmm.
this happen. I mean, it's one of the biggest things in our hobby now are these live sales. I
Huh.
mean, just about one every weekend for sure.
That's awesome. Couple other
Yeah.
questions. What type of rock do you use? Pucani, Reef Saver. So you have a Florida rock and Life rock, I think.
Yeah.
When I was down there, if I remember it right. Okay.
Yeah, Life Rock. We do carry Carib Sea Life Rock, the shapes. We have, a lot of our tanks are like rocks that we had for years, but most currently, like on our like projects we do, we use like either Haitian rock or we have a guy in Florida that actually hand makes rock. It's called Micro Ocean. There's nothing really on the web about it. Just a local guy out of the Keys that kind of delivers it to us,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been super happy with the shapes and the results of that. So we're more or less we're leaning towards man-made rock. We don't
Yep.
really have much as a way as like stuff from the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the hobby is going to keep kind of migrating towards that, especially
Mm-hmm.
as time goes on for sure. Man-made rock.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Especially like bacteria in a bottle and stuff, you get to see it very quickly now. You don't necessarily need live rock, which has all the potential pests and
Right.
stuff.
Right. Yeah. You know
Hmm.
you got you get hitchhikers and stuff like that on there and bad stuff and pockets of detritus that open once you put them in the water they kind of open up and it's I think it's better to start with with a sterile rock
Yep.
and even with dry rock Marco rock stuff like that.
Hmm.
Clarence Sea the South Sea rock and stuff like that. I mean we've been selling. I'm surprised at how much of that stuff we sold in the past 18 months. I mean, it's people are really like getting because the price is really good, especially starting a new system.
Hmm.
Um, you know, patience is the key in this hobby, and if you're just a little bit more patient, you could definitely save a little money by doing that, going that route.
Yep.
Dry rock.
Nope, definitely. Okay, a few more before these scroll past on me. With all the
Mm-hmm.
Coral Lab white papers, have you made any big changes on your tanks? Because I know you run all the ecotech stuff, so that was
Um,
one of the comments. Questions?
no, we haven't. No, we haven't. We actually, there's been they actually done a Coral Lab study on our original farm and in our retail store. You guys can check that out.
Hmm.
Ecotech has it up, and there's some links. I think we may have them on our Facebook and Instagram.
Nice. Oh,
But
oh,
no, we haven't really made any changes since we got involved with Coral Lab.
okay. Do you guys
Actually just added more radions. That's what we did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there is a
yeah,
lot of radions in there. It's a beautiful site.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, another one. G Carol is asking, do you run any carbon, GFCI, or any other media? GFO probably. Um,
GFO, yeah. Yeah, carbon from time to time. Carbon's a great way to polish the water.
mhm.
Kind of give it that extra shine. We call it. We do it as needed. No GFO. So basically, we put it in a reactor, the carbon, if we're going to
Mhm.
run it for sure.
Yep,
It's more
perfect.
effective. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Patrick was asking, how often do you feed your coral, and what do you feed them with?
Our corals, well, we kind of like we actually broadcast feed our tanks,
Hmm.
and we in the store we actually mix some of our own food. It's more economical for us. We just call it our reef mix, and we feed it to our tanks, and they've been very happy with it. You know, the phytoplanktons from Brightwell. Once in a while, we'll get in there, we'll spot feed them. Some phyto. Phyto is a really important part of their diet. So, but we don't get in there as much as we like to with that because we have so much that we have to actually get in and do. Because
Hmm.
mostly broadcast feeding.
Yep.
We feed a lot. We feed 3 times a day.
Hmm.
So, we believe that the fish, eat the food, and their waste actually helps feed the corals throughout the day as well.
Yep. It's a good circle of life. Keeps everybody happy.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so Mark was asking, what par do you aim for with acros?
Par? I
Yep.
mean, we really haven't measured par in a long time, so I really don't have the answer for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Bubba, has Lou considered asking producers to do a new series on them, build sales and education?
Well, we're open for that. I mean, we have some great personalities here at Worldwide Corals, and if any producers
Hmm.
are out there, let us know. Hey, we're open for things. That's
Yep.
one thing about us. We're very open-minded to things.
Hmm.
So we definitely would be open to stuff like that for sure in the future.
Okay, nice.
Mhm.
Another question: is there any colors that you guys struggle to maintain at the farm?
Not any longer.
No.
Not the radions. No. Mm-mm.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Another question about par. So not sure on that one.
Sorry about the par questions.
That's
I
okay.
know back in the coral lab they did do par measurements, but I think that might have been the last time we actually measured. So if you guys want to check it
That's awesome.
out.
Once it's happy, it doesn't really matter. You just add stuff and it works. It adapts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So do you have any?
You just gotta taste the water. That's
Yeah.
it. Taste it.
Taste stable.
Yeah.
Tastes like
Exactly.
yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't even use test kits anymore. Just dip the
It's
finger.
great. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No charge.
Yep. Okay. So do you have a favorite type of coral or a favorite coral?
I gotta say, I'm really love table acros. The
Yeah.
way they grow and the formation of them. So I would say table acros are my favorite. But I
Nice.
love them all.
I know. It was when I was at the farm, I was literally going around just looking. I'm like, if I could only pick one, I said I couldn't do it. There's just too many nice corals here.
I know. It kind of it changes so much for me as far as like my favorite one.
Hmm.
And but over the last couple of years for sure it's been SPS acros and table acros stuff like that without a doubt.
Hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
No, no, that's awesome. My my overall favorite has to be milliporas. I'm just obsessed with them. I like the
Yeah.
big hairy
Yeah.
polyps swaying around.
Yeah, exactly. We had this one, we still have it called Somewhere Over the Rainbow Millie. Oh man, you need to look a picture of that. That thing is beautiful. It's got a bunch of colors on its base.
Oh, I'm
It's
looking
like
up right now.
pinkish red. Yeah, checking it out.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, we unfortunately I don't think we have much of that, but I just
Hmm.
as always is like to me is like one of the kings of the millies
Oh, that's
for sure.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
Well, I'll have to keep an eye out
and
one day if it's still alive somewhere.
yeah, yeah. Check out the Ding Dang Millie too. That's one of our signature pieces. That's a really
Hmm.
nice Millie too. Ding Dang.
Ding dang. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a nice one too.
Yeah, for
Beautiful.
sure. So yeah,
I
definitely
think
love the Millies.
I managed to get one of your old Zoas when I was down at Orlando. The what is it like
Did you?
Stardust or Fairy Dust or something like that? Like super bright speckly orange.
Stardust.
Yeah, I think
Was
so.
it Twizzlers or no?
I'll send you a pic after. Uh,
Yeah, cool. All
Fairy
right.
Dust, Stardust, I don't know, something like that, but it's
All
crazy
right.
bright, like orange speckly one. It's a cool one.
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth, it's hard for me to keep up on the names, man. I mean, there's so much coral here, and I try to do my best.
It's
But
you're
I
like at
mean,
a Zoa,
this
it's a
is so
Millie.
much.
It's so hard to keep track of them. I kind of gave up on half of mine.
Yeah, yeah, like the old school names I remember because there wasn't so many back then, you know. But as things have progressed over the years, there's like so many names, and people name different names, the same coral, and hey, if you know what it is, you identify it. That's the main thing for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm at the point.
It's always cool to have a good name.
Yeah, I don't even
Yeah,
care what it's called anymore. As long as it's colorful, I'm happy.
yeah, exactly.
Yep,
Healthy and happy, yeah.
exactly. Okay, so Bubba was asking, what's the most expensive coral in your facility right now?
Most expensive, man. I mean, the bounce mushrooms are probably just like still up there. I mean, you're getting $600 to $1,000 for one mushroom,
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
nothing really compares to that right now. I don't think like the OG.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
No, do you sell many of them? Like, do many people buy them for that?
If we had a lot of them, I think we'd sell more, but we just don't have a ton of them because they just don't grow fast for us.
Mm-hmm.
But when we have them available, they usually sell right away when we put them up,
Yeah.
like within 24 to 48 hours
Oh,
usually. And
crazy.
we bring them to the show. They always sell the trade, like ReefAPooloza or whatever. They
Yep.
always sell like one of the first corals to sell.
Wow. Eh?
People, you'd be surprised. I mean, you won't be surprised, but people will, go after the high dollar corals like first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you come to the show, you want to make sure someone doesn't snag it from you.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So someone's asking, would worldwide corals consider alternative photos with less blues for online sales? Because it's tough to tell what they look like under T5s.
Well, I think if you go to our site, you can actually look at it under the whites or the blues. A lot of corals, there's like two different photos of it. So yeah, just double
Perfect.
check it. If you don't see it, just maybe send us an email and request it. We might have it for you. I'm sorry, but yeah, double check that.
Okay. Awesome. They're trying to bribe you to open up a store in the UK. There was another request for Canada earlier. Yep.
International, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah, so yes, we did cover. You'll have to go back to that one now. We did cover quarantine earlier. How many frag tanks do you run out of each sump?
Have you sump? All right. Let's see. In the back, we have here. I won't call them. Well, I call them raceways, but we do
Mm-hmm.
4 per sump.
Yep.
So they're 320 gallons. So 4 through 20s times four. So we have 16 320 gallons with 4 sumps.
Okay.
And they're about 120 gallon sumps.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
This is Rubbermaids, like troughs. So
Yep.
nothing too fancy. Farms are definitely very simple, but so effective.
Oh, exactly. I mean, you
Yeah.
really just get that beautiful top-down view that everyone loves.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. I mean, if I'm not working down here, I'll come down here for my lunch and then have my lunch and go back there and just look at corals top down, man. That's the way to look at them for sure.
Oh, it is. I don't blame you. I would never want to leave. If I was down
Yeah.
there all the time. It'd be dangerous. Yep.
I know. I know. Stop emailing me, guys. Let me stay down here and hang out all day.
Yeah,
I'm messing
exactly.
around.
So another question for you: how would you recommend acclimating your corals to metal halides or T5s?
I would definitely because based not knowing what system they came from or what lights they were under, I would definitely start them low
Mm-hmm.
in the tank. I wouldn't mount them. I never usually would glue or epoxy corals right away. I would always, especially from a different lighting situation, I would start them low.
Mm-hmm.
Give it about 5 to 7 days and see how it reacts, and kind of bring them up little by little. It might take a few weeks, but I mean, you're spending great money on these corals, and they're animals at the end of the day, so you want to give them the best chance of surviving. So I would definitely acclimate them that way,
Mm-hmm.
over a few weeks if you're concerned with the matching the lights and stuff like that.
Okay, awesome. On that, do you keep any fish in the raceways?
Yes. Yeah, a lot of tanks.
Mm-hmm.
Couple like damsels stuffed in there, just kind of make waste.
Mm-hmm.
Wrasses, wrasses are real effective for parasite control,
Yep.
flatworms, stuff like that. Yeah, for
Nope.
sure.
Awesome. Hands of Stone was asking, is fragging or growing named zoas worth it for worldwide corals?
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It's been tough to get a lot of propagating zoas take time because they come on these big rocks usually,
Mm-hmm.
and like I was saying earlier, you want to make sure they're going to adapt to the aquarium environment. So sometimes these big, beautiful rocks you get, you lose a bunch of them on it, as it transitions to the aquarium life. And it's not that we don't want to propagate more of them; it just takes a lot of time, and it's been hard to find really, really nice zoas the last couple, several months for sure for us even. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Business Reef Tank was asking, what do you run your radions at?
The radions, I mean, we keep a majority blue. I
Mm-hmm.
think right now they're maxing out at, I want to say they're maxing out at about 60%
Yeah.
on the blues. And we do run a little whites, but we run it like before we open in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And the profile is actually on the Coral Lab. If you guys want to check that
Yep.
out when you guys have time, the whole profile of our radions, you can check it out, download it actually.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that was the AB plus one. I modified that one, but I still have
Yeah,
that one. It's a
yeah,
popular one.
exactly. hmm
How do you guys keep the blue and yellow on the coral from losing those colors?
The blue and yellow.
Blues
I
I find
mean,
easy. Yellows for a lot of people seem to be a bit trickier.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I just think that growing them under the blues, I think really
Mm-hmm.
does it for get those yellows to pop and the blues for the most part all colors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of people back in the day would like to use like 10K Ushios or something like that that really just cook the corals. I
Yeah.
mean, that's cool for some corals, but I mean, not every coral can take that. That's an advantage of the LEDs. We got different settings on different tanks
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
No, exactly. Okay, another
Mhm.
one. What's the secret to color up the WWC Walt Disney? Because I've seen other ones locally and they don't compare in the colors to the ones you guys have.
I mean, a lot of the pictures that we shows are, just keeping it there in the right spot, not
Mm-hmm.
changing location, making sure the water parameters stay consistent. No
Mm-hmm.
big swings in the tank. Don't mess with don't make a lot of changes. One thing that happens to us as hobbyists that we talk to a lot of friends. We go to different stores, we read different things, and we get a whole bunch of information. Sometimes we get information overload.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing I would say is like if you like the way one chef is cooking at a restaurant, stick to that chef because if you try to throw salt in that recipe, it might not be
Yep.
the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If it's
Yeah,
working, stick with it. Stop messing with it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So try not take advice, but take it with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. All right. Well, I won't keep you too late, but I really appreciate you coming on tonight. Hopefully, I didn't miss
Absolutely,
anyone's
man.
questions. I try to grab them as they scroll past. But yeah, I really
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
it. You
Absolutely.
you guys got your sale on the 21st. Here's your one, and the
21st, yeah, it's
yep.
gonna be in store. Yeah, 11 years is a big one for us. Last year was our 10 year, which is a big milestone, but we're keep on trucking. 11 years, we're proud, and it's gonna be a great time. Friends, family, come on down. We're gonna have a cookout.
Mm-hmm.
Bring friends. We love to meet people, shake hands, kiss babies.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That one, yeah. So Rookie was asking a difference between. Someone's asking between the Kessels and Radions, but yeah, you guys run pretty much all Radions.
yeah. Kessels are really nice lights too, just a kind of different blue for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If you get the Kessels, you want to definitely get the spectral controller. You know what I mean? To kind of get that full effect, full maximize it for sure.
Yep. Perfect. No, all right. Hopefully I answered everything. Lou, thank you so much, man.
Awesome.
I really
You're
appreciate having
welcome.
you on.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, appreciate it. You guys keep on rocking, doing what you do. Reef Dudes, I mean, you guys are great. Thank you. Thanks for what you do for the hobby.
No problem. And thank you guys as well for providing such beautiful, amazing corals.
You're welcome. Hopefully, we'll talk soon.
Okay, sounds
See
good.
you.
Have a night, guys.
All right. Bye bye. Good night. Bye.
And we're off.